Yeah, the weekend was pretty good. Certainly Friday night wasn't didn't feel good, and our players knew it. We learned from it. Saturday was just a great performance. When you get great goaltending and you play stingy defense, even though a team can outshoot you, it still matters if they go in the back of the net. So I was so proud of our team on Saturday to see the joy and the excitement in the dressing room after a shootout win was pretty special. And we've talked about trying to gain signature wins as we grow our program. And I thought that was certainly one of those that we'll remember.
All right. Now, any questions for the Zoom?
Joel, what did it take to, go from giving up 8 goals to holding a ranked team to 1 goal? Did you guys kind of change everything about the game plan, or did it just everything kind of came together and clicked at the right time?
We didn't change a whole lot, Ryan. We, there's sometimes you can overcoach. We decided not to show video, not to try to change a whole lot. We reminded our players of a few key things. And when you give up a bunch of goals, it doesn't take a whole lot of reminding to say, okay, we need to be better in certain areas. And so it wasn't a change of game plan. It was just better execution. And I thought Duluth was really, really good Friday, and I'm sure they didn't feel like they played as well Saturday. But I hope that that's in part because we were a little off on Friday, and I thought we really were dialed in on Saturday. In particular, getting above the puck on the forecheck and being patient and just trying to play defense. And I think what happened is we discovered a little bit of what it's going to take, no matter who we're playing, if they're ranked or not, to be successful. And that's not to try to outscore teams, but to play really sound defensively, get great goaltending, and then capitalize on chances when we can.
Since it was a shootout victory, I mean, you don't see a lot of shootout victories at this, you guys as a program. I mean, do you guys practice shootouts a lot in practice, or is that kind of a fun thing to do?
Yeah, we'll work on it once a week. But it's always tough because you never know when it's going to happen. So you never know exactly how to work on it, how to put the appropriate game time pressure in a practice environment. So I think it's actually more about realizing and kind of remembering as coaches, who do we feel confident in? And that changes week to week. Frankly, it changes game to game. The fact that we scored 3 was pretty impressive. And it was just kind of some gut instincts by our coaching staff of who we thought gave us a chance to score. And then you trust your goaltender, and it was pretty fun.
With Haley scoring the tying goal, I mean, it was kind of interesting that it wasn't like a player with like a hot hand like Maya's had the last few days. It was kind of an unsung hero almost who came through. I mean, is it kind of nice that you have those type of players that can step up when needed?
Yeah, I mean, Haley's been that player all year as a freshman. She stepped up and played in every situation, a lot of minutes. And it was great to see her be rewarded. I was laughing over the weekend. I was watching that goal back on the video, and I'm like, why is she there? I'm not sure why she's down there in the slot, but she read the play and got involved on the power play there. And that was a huge moment for us. And so it's fun to see players rewarded on the score sheet, because that's what, unfortunately, too many people pay attention to. But our staff and our players know how much she contributes every day in practice and certainly in games on the weekend. And she's been a vital part of our defensive core.
With Bemidji, you're hosting them this weekend. You haven't played them yet this year, but you got your first D1 victory against them last year. I mean, anything stand out to you a little bit about them? Or they kind of shifted their roster kind of a bit, or anything significant?
Nothing significant other than the fact that I think we're very similar teams in terms of defending first and trying to capitalize on scoring chances. And so, it sounds like a broken record, but it's true. Every weekend is so tough in our league, and so we're looking forward to playing Bemidji. But we're also very aware that they're a gifted team with a good roster and good coaches. So it's going to be a battle this weekend, and we're excited for it, just like we were last weekend. And as last weekend shows you, you're excited for a battle, and Friday doesn't go your way, and Saturday all of a sudden it's a fun bus ride. So we're excited to finish off the year. It's getting late. It's time for final exams, and so everybody's a little bit stressed and tired and kind of dinged up. And I'm sure Bemidji has the same issues. So it'll be a fun series, and we hope to find success in the same way we did on Saturday, by playing great defense and capitalizing when we can.
Getting points and getting wins is always important every weekend, but is it really essential to try to get some points and go, before you go into the break, since it's a lot of time off?
Yeah, I think whenever you play this last weekend, especially during finals, it kind of has unfortunately, probably it feels more important than it actually is. So yeah, I do think it's important for us to try to get some points this weekend. And I'm sure they feel the same way, because how you kind of exit the first half, if you will, of the season always kind of determines your spirit and your attitude over the break. But I'll tell you what, I like where our team's at, regardless of whatever points happen or don't, that we achieve or don't achieve. I like where we're at, and we're excited to play this weekend. And if we get a sweep, we'll be excited. If we get swept, then we'll get back to it and come back after the holiday break and ready to go.
So your goaltending this weekend, especially in game 2 with Saskia, was an unreal day. Looking back to last year in the game that you lost to the Bulldogs 2-1, Dauber had a crazy good game. You were outshot 40+5, I think, but lost the game by just 1 goal. Can you tell us a little bit about that goaltender group?
Yeah, our goalie group is special. We've got 3 amazing people the thing that's special, I say that because they support one another in incredible ways. Whether it's encouragement or, when somebody's playing, the other 2 are just asking, hey, how can we help you get ready for the game? And making sure they pay attention to little details that only goalies, because they're kind of all weird, that they only know about. And so that's what's made it special. And Dobbs being, older and being a senior, she's kind of taken on a leadership role. And Saskia and Maggie are just servants. So every weekend is a challenge for us as a coaching staff to try to say, well, who gets to play, because we feel like we've got 3 that deserve to be in games. And I looked to the weekend before when we played, and I thought, Dauber played unbelievable, didn't get a winning result. And then this week, this past weekend, Saskia played and got that win. I don't judge it based on who wins. We judge it based on who's playing well and how they're treating their teammates, how they're acting as a group. And I'm proud of all 3 of them. They're a pretty unique combination, and you don't always find that when you've been coaching long enough. You sometimes have a little jealousy or a little bit of internal stress. But this group of 3 supports one another, and it's a representation of what we hope for our program.
And then a big weekend, not only on the ice, but also off the ice. It's our alumni night, 25 years of Tommy hockey. What does it mean to you to be helming a program in this transition period, but one that's been successful for a very long time?
Yeah, I think that the history of St. Thomas women's hockey it speaks for itself, and our transition might not show the same winning percentages as the program has had as a Division III program, but we're trying to keep the same values, keep the same energy, keep the same Tommy pride that has existed. And it's been really fun to connect with some of the alums. And we're excited to celebrate 25 years of that. Personally, I remember when St. Thomas started their program, and I was coaching college hockey at the time. And so I've seen the journey and seen how good this program has been. And it's a reminder for us as coaches and our players. I share this with them, and I'll share this with them as we go forward into this weekend, to represent, the Shield really well. That it's important that we carry on the tradition of playing competitively and winning, but doing it the right way. and doing it with a purpose that exists because we're a part of the University of St. Thomas. And so the support from our alums and from our fans is amazing. I look forward to a great weekend catching up with some of them. And it's when I think of being at the helm of this season, I'm just excited that I get this honor, to be honest with you.
This past weekend, the team partnered with the UMD team to raise awareness for Sophie Squad. Can you talk a little bit about what that meant to the team and to the coaching staff?
Yeah, it's an amazing organization, Sophie Squad, and raising mental health awareness. I happen to personally know, the family who's started the foundation or helped instigate some of the importance and support around it. Gabby Hughes, a player for UMD, is an unbelievable, leader in terms of driving that Sophie Squad. And it was exciting to see our players engage. They did a great job. Minnesota Duluth did of, we had, the t-shirts and the tape on the sticks and everything was provided for us so we could engage and be really proactive. And it also provided us a chance to remind our players how important mental health is and just to talk openly about it. And I think that's really the awareness that it draws. And so I can't tell you how impressed I was with both the weekend and what Minnesota Duluth did and what Sophie Squad did, but how impressed I am with Gabby Hughes. I think she's doing some amazing things and supporting not only Sophie Squad, but just her personal, advocacy for mental health. And it's something that we all need to learn from. And I took away a lot of personal impact as well.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Yeah.